Welcome back guys, Frank here. This is today's top comment on AskReddit. Catholics of Reddit, how do you feel about the White House posting an AI image of Trump as Pope? The Catholicism subreddit has shut down any and all shares of this image. The mods say very little about it other than it can't be posted on the subreddit. I'm Catholic and see Trump as a tutti-frutti nutcake, so it just seems like more of same from him. My very Catholic extended family will be over today. I will show them it and ask them. Update number 1. First person, that is so uncouth, entirely disrespectful, he is such a vile human. This is, quite literally, the behavior that the Bible talks about being present in the Antichrist. This is also the type of behavior that Jesus himself took a bullwhip to the temple over, which eventually got him crucified. People who claim to be Christians are Catholics but are blindly loyal to this dumpster fire do not follow the teachings of Christ. It is beyond me how these people cannot see the very things that their holy book warns them about. It shows he does know images can be edited with a computer. In essence, the false prophet is a powerful figure of deception who uses religious-like appearances and miracles to lead people into worshipping the Antichrist and receiving its mark, ultimately leading them to eternal damnation. This mark was generally worn on the forehead. Reminds you of a mega hat, doesn't it? Thou shalt not worship false idols. Usually rings a bell, but I feel as though they have stuffed it full of cotton at this point. It is heresy, and any person who claims to love the Bible and Jesus Christ and also supports and idolizes Trump is a lost soul. On our Catholicism there is obviously outage. I was surprised how many are angry that he met the former pope, then fell asleep at the funeral and is now apparently reveling in the opportunity to joke about it. It's a fairly major talking point. I had missed that element of it and it turned my stomach. It is offensive on a human level. He disrespected the man at his funeral and is now doing it again within a fortnight. It isn't just the strict Catholics either, although they are there and pissed rightfully in my opinion. Atheists and former Catholics are chiming in on many threads also claiming to be offended. There is a general undertone of Trump is just offensive in everything he does and is increasing megalomania. There's a level of this dude is a bad dude that can be crossed and no new information changes that. Trump crossed that threshold years ago. Now it's all just evidence is not actually trying to be better. My faith has taught me not to believe there's no redeeming some people, but I also believe you need to want to be redeemed. Ex-Catholic here would have bothered me pretty deeply when I was a Catholic, and I am not sure why there isn't any outrage from devout Catholics. Now I just think he's a clown. I've seen two responses. 1. The ones that dislike Trump find it insulting. 2. The ones that are Trumpers blow it off as it's just a joke. The latter exhausts me because it's always a joke until it isn't. See also, tariffs, mass deportations, destruction of the federal government, defunding critical social programs, etc. It's pretty disrespectful, but also pretty low on the list of things he's done that concern me. It feels very disrespectful to me. If Obama or Biden had done it, right-wing Catholics would have been hysterical with righteous indignation. Face with rolling eyes. My husband predicted it. When Francis passed I mused I bet Trump tries to pick the next pope, and he said yeah, he would be his own pick of face with rolling eyes. Devout Catholic here who has been a lifelong Republican. It's extremely distasteful and blasphemous. Catholic physician, liberal, love my neighbors of all faiths and lack thereof. I cried in 2016 when he was elected because I was fearful of him and his policies, and I have patients who are crying in my clinic about whether they will be safe or deported somewhere they never lived. I'm not surprised by his overwhelming narcissism given his history, but the fact that any Christian in general can support him with his flagrant disregard of respect, not to mention his absolute failure to embody values that Jesus promulgates, demonstrates a failure of evangelicals' morality in the U.S. educational system. I am disgusted. He is the least religious person alive, and can you imagine anyone else did this? It's disgusting. He can pay for it in hell. As a Catholic who doesn't practice anymore, and almost to the point that I don't believe in any of it anymore, this offends me greatly. Because, despite my lack of faith, at the end of the day I still believe in the core tenet of Christianity, which is, love your neighbor. And this piece of shit is as far from that as you can get. Catholic here. Separation of church and state must be maintained. Anyone who suggests Catholicism should rule American law is an extremist cult follower. I grew up Catholic, atheist now, and I can confirm that's blatantly disrespectful and blasphemous. It's amazing just how many Christians fell in love with the physical embodiment of a biblical anti-Christ. I was raised Catholic and this is abhorrent and heretical. With all the lying, threatening and boasting coming out of the White House on a daily basis, this enrages me rather mildly, to be honest. I wish to God this was the worst nonsense Trump put out there. Beware of false prophets, who come to you in sheep's clothing but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will recognize them by their fruits. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Thus you will recognize them by their fruits. Jesus. It's the least worrying thing he has done in the last 5 months. Jesus wouldn't just flip a table this time. I'm Jewish and even I find it rather offensive and disrespectful. Current, shitty, Catholic. I'm utterly disgusted by it. I hated him before this, so this is just more shitty icing on the big old diarrhea pudding cake. But it won't matter. His ardent supporters will just suck it down and beg for another slice. I think it's disgraceful, but when has anything Trump ever said not been disgraceful? It's dope. He should do one of himself as Mohammed next, IMO. I don't feel anything. As others have said, it's all for attention and to get people talking about this instead of our constitution being torn apart and our country being run by a dictator. Wish he would dress up as Mohammed. Does the average American realize just how deeply fucking insane their entire country looks right now? When the Pope died, I jokingly said, how is Trump going to handle 2 jobs, being a president and the Pope? Boy did I get downvoted. I think it's crazy because the evangelicals that make up much of his base hate Catholics. Look up Antichrist and there is your answer. I'm not religious. At all. But this is so disrespectful. Especially coming from the official White House account. Maybe lightning will strike. I can hope. Not a Catholic, but I'm gonna answer as an American tax-paying citizen. I'm sick of my government reveling in using my tax dollars to troll anyone that's not a MAGAT. Sick of them kowtowing to an uneducated, narcissistic convicted felon that should be in prison, not the White House. Both of my parents are the Catholicest people I know, and I assume they'll both feign outrage and then vote for him a 4th time. Do you recall the outrage from Republicans about Clinton? Seems like an eternity ago that they cared about ethics. What they really cared about was being able to control the narrative. To get the media to bend to their preferred agenda, all the while yelling and screaming about a liberal bias. They made themselves to be the victims and now they can't stop. They are always the victim. I'm used to being disappointed by the current administration. But relieved canon law exists as he cannot ever become pope at least 5 times over. Popes are famously priests, not married, not allowed to be politicians, must drink the accidents of wine, and Catholic. Trump violates all 5 of these requirements. Cradle Catholic, liberal blue sheep of the family, haven't practiced in years but admired Pope Francis a lot. It's ridiculous. It should piss off my very conservative family. But they'll find a way to hand-wave it like everything else since 2015, them being on the Trump train. Me, they did what? Googles to confirm OP is correct. Me, oh my absolute fuck, what is wrong with these people? Happy smiley and happy smiley yet happy smiley somehow, happy smiley Sinead, happy smiley O'Connor, happy smiley tearing, happy smiley up, happy smiley a happy smiley picture, happy smiley of happy smiley the happy smiley Pope, happy smiley still, happy smiley makes happy smiley her, happy smiley the happy smiley worse, happy smiley person, happy smiley according, happy smiley to happy smiley some, happy smiley people. Cute. Now, try it with Muhammad and let's see how that works out for you. Pope Francis has called for a global treaty to regulate artificial intelligence, AI, emphasizing the need for ethical development and use of AI technologies. Deeply offended. Unfortunately, also deeply offended by them before this. If Trump was the Pope, his first actions would be to make Hitler and Mussolini saints. Then he'd make Putin a cardinal. So that sums it up. He's a devil. He's profaning the most sacred position in the Catholic Church with his heresy. So you can presuppose that every Catholic is disconcerted by the implication that Trump is worthy of St. Peter's throne and successor to Pope Francis, who was the consummate Pope. I don't know what's more dismaying, his arrogance or his ilk's lionizing such narcissism. I don't care what they say, but anyone who revered Trump cannot be a follower of Christ because they are the antithesis of each other. Catholic or not, everyone should be disgusted by this. And just because it's Trump who did it doesn't mean he should get a free pass. If JFK or Biden tried this, they'd be calling for their heads. Crap like this only lowers the discourse even further, if that's possible. Alright folks, this was Frank. Follow for more daily top comments from AskReddit.